What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View and welcome to another episode 25 of the Trinity podcast, powered by Dan Gore.
We got it.
Got it. I sped up at the end because it was a long intro, and I thought, it's going to be a bit of a short
as soon as
episode
I heard Dan Gore, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Owen, talk to me, man. This Trinity is a different type of Trinity to any Trinity you've done before.
I mean, on the screen to our left, still missing, last seen looking for Dan Gore, is one Jurgen Fleck.
You're an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat.
Back to work tomorrow, though, he is, because we've got a game. Tour.
Yeah, exactly. Edinburgh, indeed. But there has been some discussions, some rumours, shall we say, suggesting that maybe he stays on holiday for a little bit longer because in the last week, we've been quite a few little things have happened. 2 signings, Sancho's back, personal terms agreed with 2 players. So, we don't like to do sort of the judge thing anymore and the jinx thing anymore and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I'm just kind of saying it's kind of like the opposite of what happens when you leave the country, isn't it?
It's the judge.
It's kind of like that. Yeah,
because I don't understand. Like, I've never seen, even he's left and now Everton. Like, even what's going on here is mental. Like, we've been trying to do deals and we've been struggling with Everton, offering them money, and they've said no every single time. Now, with Flex being away, Everton's deal for the takeover has broken down. I mean, I know Everton fans to go looking for Flex, but I'm sure that deal would have been still intact if Flex was in the country.
George, what are you saying that at the moment he touches back down the country of Everton have been sold? All talks have broken down. Talks have broken down with Agate and Ligt. You'd be like, thanks, man. I'm buying you a ticket. One way.
But no, it's mental, man. We spoke I don't know if you asked me the question last week or so. How many players will be in and out? Was that on the last Trinity?
Yeah, I forget actually. Yeah, I think that was on the last Trinity. I mean, so much has happened since then, but I think it was something like that. And you know what I think it is we need to do in this episode? Yeah, I think we need to take a step back and just go what is going on at Man United? What is going on at Manchester United? And what now are legitimately, and I don't mean over the top, and I mean, songs aside and all that kind of stuff, legitimately, what are your expectations at the moment now? Ooh. For the window, for the season? I mean, I know it's difficult because you'll probably more than most actually have a first-hand insight once you're on the tour, looking at the players and the vibe and the feeling about what the expectations will be. But as of right now, today, how does KG the comedian feel about Manchester United heading into the season? What are you looking for?
Well, it's crazy because I'm excited about the prospect of Ineos. You asked me the question about what am I most excited about? What's my expectation? And
I did.
What sticks out to me, Ineos. And I know that sounds so ridiculous, but the fact that they're there, the structure's there, and they're traveling, they're going to games. I didn't know Omar Barada and them lot were going to actually attend all of pre-season. So that feeling of we have to have the standards. We always talk standards on the floor. We always talk about how bad it can be.
2024
now it's imagine being in a space when you're constantly in Ofsted. That's when players, and you've seen when inspectors come to the school, everyone's different. Teachers are different. The class is more interactive. Everyone wants to put their best foot forward because I'm being watched, and I know that. Not saying that my position's in trouble, but I know I'm not secure. I'm not safe in this position. The only ones that are safe are the players that are on long-term contracts. But even then, if you're looking at what Man City's and other teams have done, if a sign is not working, they're going to get rid of it. They won't waste time. They'll cut their losses and say, well, this doesn't work for us. This person has to go. So now when I'm, because I feel like the standards have raised, we already have a manager that says good is not good enough. And we've got players trying to prove themselves. Well, that's all ingredient for success, really. If you've got a group of players that are fighting for the badge, but they're not rubbish, they're actually good in possession, they're actually good players. Yeah, you got a manager who has a wealth of options to pick from, and you have the leadership team with their eyes on the business. Well, it just says, well, we're going to go in that direction rather than going backwards. So that's what I'm excited about. What's happened?
Oh, your internet's been bad. But you've recovered now. I think you're recovering now. It's funny because a little insight when I like on my little screen here, I can see people's like how strong their signal is. There's a lot of red, KG. There's a lot.
I'm sick of it, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot of red. But I think you've recovered. I think you've recovered. I think we got the general gist of what you're trying to say anyway.
Basically, I'm just saying that Ineos being here, the standards of the players raising, buying better players, and no one being totally safe is going to make a huge difference on the club.
I think also what's interesting too is I kind of echo what you're saying there. And my expectations have been raised, not in the sense of I'm like, we're going to win the league, not in the sense of I'm suddenly expecting different from the players that I know what their standards are, because I think that would be naive of me to be like, oh, I think, suddenly, I don't know, Anthony's going to be great. He's going to be 86 million quid worth of player. We know that's not going to be the case. We know is kind of his ceiling. But what has raised my expectations with it, to your point, is if things aren't going well or they're not happy with specific players or even the manager or whatever, clearly Ineos will just be completely ruthless. They will just be like, right, so this player, even if someone we signed this summer, let's be honest, let's say Joshua Zirkzee, we're like the end of the season, like, I tell you what, I'm not really sure about that. Ineos might be like, all right, cool, we'll go find someone else. These people that are been at the club for a while, they don't go in this summer transfer window because they've got expectation. Let's say like Marcus Rashford's another bad season. They might just look at it and go, all right, we'll get rid. Like, I don't think anyone now, bar a select few like your Kobe Mainus, etc. No one's really, I think, tied down in terms of they're absolutely nowhere. They're never going to leave. That raises my expectation because that kind of ruthlessness, that kind of, we talk about standards, is what you need to be successful.
A big club.
Yeah, a big club. And you mentioned like the Branthwaite thing now, and I'm still like, if Everton are still holding firm with their asking price, maybe they won't be now. I'm like, no. But what is fascinating, KG, is just that in all of these negotiations they've done thus far, Ineos, they've managed to either bluff or get it right every single time. I mean, look at that Lenny Yoro deal. Every club around Europe that was involved in looking at Lenny Yoro, as soon as they heard Real Madrid are interested, they went, right, we'll back off. Yeah. And Manchester United, instead of backing off, they puffed up their chest and said, right, game on then. We believe in ourselves. We believe in ourselves. And I think now, when it comes to like this Everton situation with their takeover now not happening and blah, 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 they'll back themselves again and be like, about that asking price, we told you it was ridiculous. And now, look at this. Look at what we've got to do. And we're not raising our price, by the way. We're not going to bail you out. We're just saying our price is our price. But
our price.
Your options have changed.
Your options have changed, and and the funny thing is, Everton need money to operate and get busy this summer. Because if they want to be in the league, there's so much they got to do. They've just sold Onana. They've sold Onana, and they've got what? They still have the next player of value is the one that we're talking about in Branthwaite. Well, you lot like, do you want to? And I don't know if there's a points deduction happening, but you built a new stadium. You could do something so mad for your situation horribly. So guess what now you're forced to the conversation. But what makes it difficult is, in my mind, I was so excited about Ligt. I don't think that's a possibility anymore, because it's one or the other. One or the other. It's one or the other. They will go back to Branthwaite. Branthwaite, we put a bid in. We said, hey, hi, you're the first person we put a bid in for. And
but that was before Lenny Yoro, wasn't it? In fairness.
Yeah, but we put those bids in before Lenny Yoro.
But was that because, I mean, that was the one that was more readily accessible to do? I mean, then we've been tracking Lenny Yoro for a while, and it was like, wow, the Ligt one was, at the time, I don't know if we knew that Ligt was actually available in the sense that he was now.
Yeah.
It might have been just a product of circumstance at the time. I mean, there's no doubt we're interested in him. There's no doubt he fits into the category, but then all of these people do. Ligt is 24.
My thing is just because it was two bids. It was two bids. So that was like kind of how we Mason Mount it. Like that last time when we went for him, it was, you could tell that we wanted him. Then we said, we're walking away. But then Man United must have some insider information, because I always thought this was strange. They would go back in for Branthwaite. And I thought, why? Like, you know how much he costs, 70 million. But they might, in the billionaires club, in the billionaires conversation, saying, I'm hearing noises.
We hear it saying Sir Jim got pulled up the billionaire bat phone.
It could have been hear noises that this acquisition might not be happening. And while it does sound funny, these guys are getting to the same golfing places and the same sailor. I don't know wherever they meet up and have billionaire conversations. That's not going to be a surprise, you know. And especially if they've gone through they've tried to buy a club as well. They tried to buy Chelsea, Ineos. Yeah. And are you with me? So there's so much that's been there's so much that's been done. My wife. There's so much that's happened in a short space of time. I wouldn't put it past them for having that information to say, this is it. I wouldn't put it past them at all.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
So now, when we do level up the conversation, when we do level up like what this means, I just feel that I just feel like this Branthwaite thing now, you know, you said it a lot recently. You coined the phrase, with Ineos, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
And in this thing now, we can't say it's not going to happen. We can't say that Branthwaite at Man United is a total impossibility now.
No, it's true. Anything definitely is possible. And what will be interesting, because look, with Branthwaite and with the Ligt, nothing's going to happen until we sell a defender, clearly. But it will be really interesting to see what does happen. Like if, let's say Lindelof goes or Maguire goes, one of them, it'll be interesting, you're right, to see which direction they go down. Because once that defender goes, then they'll be confident, like, right, we can bring another defender in. And then it'll be a case of who is it? Do they want to go with Ligt, which the majority of the work's done? It's all done. All they've got to do is agree the fee with Bayern, and they know what fee Bayern are looking for too. So they could do that one pretty quickly, and De Ligt wants to join the club. Or they can go back to Everton. They know what Everton's price was, but maybe they feel them out again to say, hey, what is actually your other price? And
you know they're going to go for the smart one.
But you know what's interesting really with these players though? You've got two people on the coaching staff that have worked with either player. So you've got Erik ten Hag's De Ligt. I've worked with De Ligt. He was my captain at Ajax, youngest captain ever at the time, led us to a Champions League semi-final. Like, I know him. I believe in him. He's my guy. And you got Ruud van Nistelrooy going, I worked with Jared. I worked with Jared at PSV. He was a really good player.
Remember,
we won a cup. We won a cup together, you know? So, like, it'll be interesting to see that conversation between them both being like, I really like De Ligt. I really like Jared Branthwaite. Who's better? Well, this one can do that. That one can do that.
And we're in the same situation with both of them. Both terms agreed. Terms were not a problem. You know what I mean? Both, because we agreed to the Branthwaite one a long time ago. They both
price, isn't it? It's just price.
With both teams, both clubs, it's price.
Well, I mean, price in the sense of like Bayern, I think they won like 42 million quid. I still think, given these circumstances, are we going to get Jared Branthwaite for 42 million pounds?
Absolutely. That's what I began there with. I would say this is my pitch right now. I'm about to sign De Ligt for 42 million. And you know we're gonna do it because look what we're doing over here. Yeah? This is what we have. Do you want to do the deal? Take it or leave it. Now it might not even be 42 million, but they don't know that. They're not aware because they're desperate. I say, look, I've got 42 million. I'm about to give it to Bayern for De Ligt. What do you want to do? That's a horrible place to be in. We can, after this conversation, I'm gonna call them and tell them the deal's done. We did wanna bring in Branthwaite. We spoke to him first. We want to honor, he chat rubbish, the fluff, and then say, well, I need an answer from you before I put this phone down, and just wait.
And you start doing it in stages, going, I'm putting it down.
And I'll say, I will put the phone down in 10 seconds. I need an answer from you.
just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. Yes or no.
You leave it quiet and let them leave it, just the awkwardness of the pause. Yeah? And I say, you seem to be struggling with decision. I will be putting down the phone in about the next 10 seconds. So I would just assume by your silence that you're not doing the deal. And wait.
Who do you want? Who would, if it was your choice, and they said, look, KG, we've sold Lindelof or Maguire. We're not sure where we want to go. We're looking for your advice. De Ligt or Jared Branthwaite? We think we can De Ligt, we can get him 42 million. We've agreed personal terms with both. De Ligt, 42 million. Branthwaite, a little bit more, not as expensive as Everton wanted, but a little bit more than 42 million. Who do you go for? Who would you like Manchester United to go for?
I'd like us to get De Ligt.
I agree.
There's something about that leader. There's something about having that guy that's good in the air. Something about that right-sided player that is just like that. I'm excited by that. I'm excited at the prospect of De Ligt that's ready now. You know, the one thing that does go in his favor is you do have not like a red flag, but you do have a flag waving saying, I hope you're not as injured as we expect. Because that's what Branthwaite has ahead of him in terms of, well, he's young and he's not gonna. If you sign Branthwaite, you're telling me you've prepared for your future. The future pairing is Branthwaite and Euro. That's what your future looks like. You know what I mean?
But then the difference in their age is what, like a year?
Who?
So how old is Jared Branthwaite? Jared Branthwaite is 22. He's 22. And how old is De Ligt? De Ligt is 24, I think he is. 24, becomes 25 next month. So the difference between them is a couple of years. And that's the crazy thing with De Ligt, isn't it? Because he's been around for so long, people just assume that he's old or whatever. Yeah. And he's a very rare case. You don't see many sort of 24, 25-year-olds with that level of experience that he's got.
He's the right person. I feel like you signed De Ligt, and if people murmur, we're doing the title charge. Yeah. I don't blame them because
and he was a captain at Ajax. You want to talk about a leader without wearing the armbands. Then you got a couple in that team.
Goal scoring defender. You're talking about a goal scoring defender. Good deliveries into the box. If Man United can shut people out, and score 2 goals a game, you make us a very interesting prospect. You know, like that's a solid back four, a solid regime of just bastard back four with getting goals. All of a sudden, we're a better team. I saw what Gabriel and Saliba was able to do, and you just knew that one thing for sure: they'll keep people out and they're going to score. We've seen what Virgil van Dijk can do. We've seen how pivotal he can be in the air and crash and just make a moment happen for Liverpool. So we've seen with these teams. Now you're telling me that Ten Hag has started to bring the players that he'll be able to play a new brand of that Ajax style football with the type of players that he's getting now. There's no excuses about, as you said earlier, there's no excuses about, well, I haven't got the players to play that style. Bro, we've got ball playing centre backs. We have a ball playing goalkeeper. We have natural width in terms of the low plays or the system that you want to play. Well, Luke Shaw plays the system and you got Malacia. We should still buy another left-sided player, but that's cool. In the midfield, you sign Mason Mount. He can play the system. Kobe can play the system. Well, you got Ogate. He can play the system. Now on the wings, you've got Ahmad to pick from. You got Rashi to pick from. You got Garnacho to pick from. You got Xerxes and you got Højlund. How can you? Where could be the excuse? You know what I mean? Waiting as well. You potentially might have a Rabiot, or you might have a Amrabat or something. The technical players that work hard are here now. So all the things that you're asking for, well, you have it. So now it's up to you, mate.
Yeah, the expectation's on. Yeah, the expectation it is on. I mean, I was thinking that whilst you were saying that, I was going to ask you, I asked you about expectations earlier on, but last season it was like Manchester United. Well, you talk to some people, people say that Man United played exactly where they are. They are the 8th best team in the Premier League. They're not good enough. Whereas I think most Man United fans would probably say, actually, full strength Manchester United team or less injuries, 50% less injuries, that Man United team probably does get in the top 4 or very close to, because we saw it the season before. So now going into this season, it's almost like we're not really sure what to expect, because we've had such differences in seasons where not so many. Well, I say not so many injuries. In Erik ten Hag's first season, he still had quite a few injuries, but still, that team was able to get into third place in the Premier League, win a trophy. Should have, and I mean, if we hadn't got the injury, we would have gone much further in the Europa League too. You have to remember that we completely messed it up with the Varane and Martinez injuries. And we did well in the league. Then last season, with all the injuries, with all that kind of stuff, just the wheels completely fell off. If we don't have as many injuries and we have the new signings, then I think it's got to be then like, people are not going, oh, win the league or anything ridiculous like that. But it's got to be like, have to be not even like just towards the end of the season. It has to be from day dot. It has to be like that's got to be in that top 4 again. Not going for title or anything like that.
So not first, second. I'm getting mad. Second, it's like a second, third, because they're
second, third, fourth. But if it's a close fourth, you know what I mean. If you were fourth, you were like
But I'm saying like last season, we almost got back into the top 4 race with his
blew it. Yeah,
ourselves. Like Tottenham was like, we want to give this to you. You know what I mean? Like Aston Villa were fumbling as well. So we just got to, again, just to worry about us. But when I was going through that squad and I was saying the names, I was like, that's a decent side. When you think about it, it's like, wait, actually, those are some good, if we get these players, that's a good side. It all starts, the job starts in defense, though. That's where the job starts. The job starts at the back. Now, we're making certain moves. You're hearing that Wan-Bissaka could be on his way to West Ham. Wan-Bissaka, I've got over it. It took me the morning show to really like calm.
You said it like it was going to be this really long. I've got over it. It took me the morning, basically.
The morning. Right? Like I've had to get over it. I had a great conversation with the delegation, and they were like, "Look, like Wally's like that's the old United, and we're getting in a new direction. And you can't just have a player because he's good at 1v1s." 1v1 defending. It's like we can't just keep McTominay because he's limited as a midfielder, but then in the box he can get a goal or two. No, we're looking for players that can do a bit more and offer more to an elite team. That's what we want to be, right? So, and I'm willing, I'm happy to defer and say that's cool. But then what's next? It's like, and with all the pieces that we sound like we're gonna get, how can you not be involved in some level of domestic success, some level of European success? Even that's changing as well. Is it a league now?
The format's changed. So obviously all of the competitions, it's a league format, and you play 4 games home, 4 games away, all against different sides. So 7 fixtures against completely different sides, 7 different teams. And then it's a case where it's like the top, it's like 8 qualify automatically. And then there's like playoffs between the next batch of people to face the 8 and all this kind of stuff. But also critically, I think for teams in the Europa League and others is that previously, obviously, if you came third in the Champions League, you drop down. There's no drop down anymore. That doesn't happen. So that once you're out, you're out. So the teams that start this tournament in the Europa League in particular will be the teams that finish the tournament. And if you look at the field, there aren't really a bunch of strong. Well, certainly from a Manchester United perspective, and this could be very big-headed, and we'll see how the season plays out. But you're looking like Spurs are in there, I think Roma are in there, something like that. It's not huge.
Spurs are like our biggest competition.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's not. Manchester United would be the favourites for it. Definitely, they would be the favourites for that. So that's something to look at. But also, actually, when you talk about expectations, so there would be. It feels like the next step would be like a European trophy, like a Europa League for Erik ten Hag. But also, what actually really does need to be fixed this season, once again, it's away from home against the big teams. We got to start winning games. Like that's another part of it. We've got so used to it over the last 2 years, really, haven't we? Of just like, when we go away to big clubs, we just tend to lose.
What was our record last season? Was he still shambolic, or do we? I'm
pretty sure we don't think we rectified that, KG. To be honest with you,
I think because one of them we fixed up. One of them was we bad in the games against the top 6.
But I mean, overall, it's still. I mean, not just like top 6, top half, KG. Like it wouldn't.
Oh yeah, it got bad.
It wouldn't good. So I mean, technically, we beat Brighton away from home towards the end of the season. And even like that Chelsea game, should have won that away from home. Last goals in the last minute didn't happen. Didn't beat City away from
You know
home.
what I need? You know what I need? So why
we beat Villa. We beat Villa away from home, didn't we?
Yeah.
But even that, the fact that we're pointing to singular instances,
singular? Yeah, it's not. We can't
that's the
say.
problem.
I need the home form of the first season.
Yes.
Fortress.
Yeah.
I need us to be a fortress and just solid away. Like, yes, solid away from home, even if they're draws. But I need the home form to be incredible. You know, that's what we're looking for. We're not losing at home anymore.
Right, I felt like we did the same thing away from home over and over again. In those big games against those big teams, we'd come out of it losing, and we'd come out of it going, we should have won that. Or we had chances to win that, and we blew it. And so yeah, a lot of those things away from home, definitely the last-minute goals. And we've spoken about this quite a lot, haven't we, when we're talking about that first game, the Friday night football, the Arsenal spot, season opener. They want you to lose the game. That's why they put you on the Friday, because everyone's going to be watching. Everyone are just done their fantasy teams and what have you, and they'll be looking. They'll be waiting. They'll be on the touchline at Old Trafford. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher will be there. Jamie Carragher will have his drafts fully ready to go in on Erik ten Hag. And what we need to do in that first game is not have our first game that we had last season against Wolves. When we came out of it, we were awful. We were awful. But that wasn't a surprise, because I remember you sort of going, well, that's what I watched right at the end of preseason.
Yeah. So this is why, well, we go to Murrayfield. It's Murrayfield on Saturday. Hopefully we see a better level of fitness in the players that they can run
there'll
around.
Be more senior players. There'll be more senior
players. But you just want a better level of fitness. That's what you're really looking for. That's the first thing I'm looking for. I would like to win the game, but you're saying, you know what? You guys be further along now in terms of, well, you're fitter and you can do more. And we just start keeping progressing, because again, all these other players are going to start coming back, and people really need to start fighting for their shirts now, because like you have a short space of time before all the bad boys come into the team. So what I'll be doing, if I was any of them, I'll be saying, hey, with all the changes that they're making, I need to make myself. It's like having a new manager. It's like having everything being new. You know, and I really want to be a part of this. I really want to be a part of this setup. I've got to be ready to go, because now this looks like a club that's going somewhere. This looks like a club that's finally getting places. And so for so long, man, people at Man United, the players especially, have half-assed it. There's been this, well, we get paid and no one cares if we win or lose. In terms of at the glaze, like if you have a business and the people up top do not care about it, the staff ain't gonna care naturally, you know, because we've been rubbish for years, and all we got to do is finish in Europe somewhere, and it's fine. You know, now you're saying that's not acceptable at all. Now you're saying you brought in people that want to win. You brought in people that have said, I've turned down Real Madrid and these kind of teams to be here. Do you lot think I want to be here doing nothing? I want to win now. You know, and also the same thing is the players have experience lifting trophies back to back. They've lifted a trophy every season since the arrival of this manager. They don't want the buck to stop. They don't want the trend to end. We all have to go hard from this moment. We know where we lost it. Yeah, it's
and also turns out Sir Jim kind of telling the truth, wasn't he? with a lot of stuff he was saying when he said to the employees and that, look, this isn't about money for me. If it was about money, I wouldn't even got involved, you know?
Yeah.
I know football's a profitable business, but also it's a very volatile business. This is personal. This is personal to me, and it's about winning, and it's about having a culture of winning. I want us to win. And that's why, like we said earlier on, that's why if Man United aren't winning on the pitch this season, there will be dire consequences for that. They will not stand. They will not stand for it. They've seen in this transfer window alone 2 instances where they were told that they would go to other clubs, and they said no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
we want to get the player. They got told for Dan Ashworth, it's 2025. Oh, and if you want to buy him out, it's 20 million quid. They paid 3, and he's working on deals right now. That's again. Saren's in the chat. That's what they were saying. You know, so a lot of the stuff that Surgeon was saying, and also like some of those buzzworthy catchphrases have been shown up just to be utter horseshit when you think about it. He's just another Glazer. I've never seen a Glazer behave like this. We're also KG. We're just going to be Brexit. That's what we are. We're just going to be Brexit, you know. And to be fair, I suppose we are with our Spanish CEO, our German director of recruitment, our Dutch striker that we've signed,
Very
our
Brexit.
French centre-back that we've signed, the Uruguayan midfielder that we've agreed personal terms with, the Dutch defender we've agreed personal terms with. It's very Brexit. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, it's very, very, very Brexit with what we've done.
Man. You just want us to stay here.
Just you know, I mean, it's just like weird fear mongering with it, and that's why I remember at the time.
I owe Sir Jim an apology though, and Ineos, I do, because I was not, bro. I said, oil me up, let's go. Qatar, I couldn't wait, bro. Trying to learn Arabic because I just wanted to. I
switched to Duolingo.
Switch on Duolingo, bro. But then, what like now? Even if you compare it, I don't know what the 9-2 Foundation was going to do in terms of who they would have brought in, but what we have, this structure and this attention to detail, I love it. I love it. I put this ahead of, because you can get like, Chelsea got a billionaire with a lot of money with no structure. So the money came in, but then it's how you spend the money. And what Man United have said is, yeah, like we could do that. I could do that, but they don't want to sell me the club anyway. So guess what? This is how we're going to do it. And it's just the intention to everything that they said they kind of wanted, they're getting. The Glazers didn't want to sell the club. They said, give us this club and we want football in control. You've never heard that with the percentage. We laughed and said, you're not going to
never work. Yeah.
They said, they're in charge of the football matters, bro.
They did Jedi mind trick. They went, you will give us football control. We'll give you football control. And also when you do give it to us, we'll make you like it. And everyone's like, yeah,
like it.
yeah, it's good. And I mean, look, you're right. When it comes to the Glazers stuff, I think with the Qataris, you know, a lot of people favoring that. I favored that mainly because I didn't really care about the money. The money was all I cared about was full buyout. The idea of having a Glazer-free Manchester United.
Yeah.
But then also you had to then live in the reality of, like you said, they were never going for that. They never were. I mean, initially, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was going to buy out just a Glazer share. He found out it was illegal. So he had to back off that one too. So, yeah, I mean, David Helly was on this channel when it's dead in the water. That previous bid was dead in the water because they couldn't do it because the other, the minority stockholders wouldn't agree to it. So he had to go around a different route, and he's bought his way in. I'm sure he's got long-term plans of what he would want for Ineos's control of Manchester United, and I hope they get there one day. I really do. But I think that at this stage, I just don't think we can maybe criticize how the postseason stuff was handled with Ten Hag. Could have been done better. Pre-FA Cup final could have been done better.
It could have,
but nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. And actually, I'm almost in a way glad it happened that way, because I think that was a bit of an eye-opener of like, we have to keep things really tight around here.
Absolutely.
Because that information, it gets out.
It's powerful.
We can't trust people. We have to keep things so close.
And they had to have their first argument as well for this relationship to work. You know, when he said in Laurie Will article, when he said there was some tough conversation, difficult conversation, that can only happen when we've kind of crossed the lines at certain times. And
the relationship gets stronger when you have your first argument, KG. When you have your first fight and you go, right, we're real now.
All right, cool, we're real now. Okay, all right, cool. No problems. And that's what's important. So, yeah, I'm happy. Listen, if you ask me my real expectation in terms of weighing it up in terms of what we do this season, I've said it over and over again. Third place, Europa League, win that cup. I want to match Arsenal with that record of the most FA Cups. Yeah.
What, you want to take that one? I want to knock Arsenal off the perch.
That's it. I just want it. So that's something I've got my eye on. So yeah, hopefully we can do that.
I think.
You want to win any trophies next season?
I think I agree with you. I think top 4 again. Get back into the Champions League, and I would like this idea of just this. We win trophies every single season. That has to continue. And the fact that that's been used as a stick to kind of push against Ten Hag, I think is so bizarre. All he does is win trophies, KG. All he does is win trophies.
It's ridiculous.
Madness. But there you go, guys. That is the Trinity powered by Dan Gore, episode 25. What a crazy week things have been, KG. Oh, you've got to press one. Yeah. I kind of missed the old one a little bit.
No, we're never. That's never coming back. But yeah, people, stay blessed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Pre-season starts, and I'm not gonna lie, this is where we're on another. This is where we're clear. I say I don't give a damn. Pre-season, no one does it like us.
Well, I tell you what, it was terrific. It was a really rousing speech you gave there, KG. But your internet was so bad that we just didn't really see it. So,
Cool. See you later. Bye.
We're out of it. Peace.